Hey, Eagle Run 23 here. All right, welcome back to the workbench. First things first, I'm so excited about the over 1,000 subscribers that have joined us. I'm gonna do a little giveaway. So this is a bag that I've had. I bought it this summer, I believe, and I just couldn't figure out how to put it into my system. So I'm going to be giving away this brand new Vism little shoulder sling thing. It would be great for a med bag, but it's got all these pouches. It's got two, looks like pistol mag, one, I think that would hold one or two AR mags. It's gonna include the American flag patch, Don't Tread on Me patch with the snake. I really like that one. But this thing is pretty cool. And then it also has this little, on the back here, if you have one of those holsters that has a Velcro section to it, you could conceal carry with this thing as well. So go ahead and leave a comment. Every comment on this video will be entered to win, and I'll do a drawing probably next weekend. We'll give it a couple of days and do a drawing that first weekend in February. So, all right, there's that. Okay, so we're talking about ammo storage again today. It's like one video creates another video sometimes. But also, you guys are maybe tricking me into getting out more ammo cans as well. Had to dig one of these out here for you guys. So I wanted to say first, if you're not familiar, this HR 127 bill that is in the House is absolute venom to the Second Amendment. You need to go read on it. You need to call your people. I've sent emails this last week to my representatives here in Texas. I've been emailing them a lot recently, so I don't know if that's good or bad, but it definitely has got me a little bit more activated politically to see some of that going on. And then there's also quite a bit of other things happening where, I mean, it's just really a crazy time where, you know, the prices of ammo is so high, and then, you know, there's this really awesome movement where those guys on the Wall Street Bets page are going after these hedge funds. I absolutely love it. I have that small little bit of anarchy in me that I just kind of like some of that chaos, especially for those crooks on Wall Streets. But if you want to get involved in that, I highly recommend it. It's kind of fun, and this is not financial advice in any way. All right, so these are desiccants, and I put these in, actually these have never been opened. I have some of these that I opened and then I resealed them in a vacuum saver bag. The vacuum saver bag is going to be in the next video. I have a crazy idea about ammo and a vacuum saver bag. I ordered some more vacuum saver bags. They'll be here in a couple days. That'll be a couple videos down the road here, but stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed because we're gonna do something really cool with a vacuum saver bag and an ammo can. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, so anyway, these are desiccants. So the video that I talked about ammo storage, it really kind of changed my, I don't know if it changed my opinion, it just helped me realize a couple things. I am not shooting anytime soon, and I have enough ammo that's ready to grab that I could just take a box or two and go to the range without digging into these. Years ago, I was running through these pretty quick, and I just haven't done that in a year. I mean, it's been a year, or it's been 2 years since I've shot regularly, and I was shooting all the time, which is why I kind of pumped up my inventory, and then I quit shooting, and then I kind of have some inventory. So I think I showed you these the other day. These are just stored in this box, and the reason they're stored with just painter's tape and in the box was because this was a box that I was shooting out of, and it looks like it made it to full. I put it away, and it never got shot again. So this is one that's on top that I rotate out of. I need to reset several of these. One, I've added a little bit of ammo, and two, I'm converting all of my ammo to long-term storage. I think all of us probably should. We don't need it to be accessible. We really should put it away. So I guess, what does that look like? What does that mean? So there was some hate for the plastic Plano style 30 cal cans. Some of that's probably justified. It is, I mean, they are plastic, but I mean, I'm not like taking these on a boat or anything, and they're stored in a relatively climate controlled area. I mean, they're stored in the air conditioning. I live in Texas, so I don't have a ton of, I mean, I have some humidity, but I'm not like super humid like Louisiana or something, or Florida. So I have some humidity in North Texas, but it's not as bad as it would be in South Texas. So anyway, I think these are fine. And like I mentioned in that one video, they can create a gap on the seal. But I can see on this one that it's been pressing into the seal all the way around, and I don't have this one bulging. And so if that latch is tight, I mean, it's possible I can pull up on that and get some, you know, I can get a gap to happen in there. But if it's stored like it's designed and nothing, I mean, maybe one on top of it, I mean, that would seem like it would only help push it down. I don't know. Maybe the hate on here is justified. I don't have a ton of these. Most everything I have is metal. So 50 cal cans, the reason I said I don't like them is because they're heavy. I'm not really carrying them around, but even just moving them around, here on the bench, I mean, 1,000, how many rounds are in here? It says there's 1,000 rounds in there. I mean, that's heavy. So just being a smaller container makes them a little more manageable, but I would never really carry 1,000 rounds anywhere. I mean, we can talk about bug out situations, but. So anyway, we're gonna convert this to long-term storage. And I also mentioned that I often store them loose packed. This is one that I have not opened in a very long time. It is a cool Texas night. There's no humidity, so I'm not afraid to open these. See, I just cut the lid off that and put that in there. There's also a desiccant in there somewhere, at least one or two down in there. So we're gonna convert this to long-term storage. And I think we probably all should convert most of our stuff to long-term storage. You need to find some good conditions of these. I found these I bought them at garage sales. I think I bought one or two at a garage sale. I bought a stack of them at a flea market that they had over at the Texas Motor Speedway a couple years ago. They had a really good deal on them. I think I got them for like $8 or $10 a piece. Maybe it was less than that. I don't know. I think you can get new ones at Walmart for like 15. Maybe I'm wrong on that. And then these, say what you will about them. I like them. They're not the greatest. I get that, but I'm not storing them, you know, in a wet basement or something. So I feel like they're fine, and they're super handy because they're just so much lighter. They just hold less rounds. They're lighter because they hold less. So not a bad deal there. So throw a couple desiccants in there. I don't know that the desiccants are necessary unless you're in that super humid environment, but it's probably better to be safe than sorry. I mean, these are essentially precious metals right now, so we need to treat them like the valuable items that they are. Okay, so generally speaking, you don't want to long-term store in boxes because technically the boxes could absorb some moisture. I'm sure these are fine. They've only been in there. These are probably a couple years old. They've only been in there for a while, and long-term, you know, ammo lasts as long as you take care of it. The modern primers and stuff that we have, and the modern accelerants that are used, you know, to fire the bullets, that technology's come a long way, and those things are way more stable. Even the old stuff is stable. I don't know why when you Google how long does ammo last, there's a lot of things that say 10 years. I guess that's 10 years if it's like sitting in this box, like on a shelf maybe. Keeping it away from the heat's number one. Keeping it away from moisture, number two. And there's no reason it won't last. I mean, if I don't shoot this stuff, my kids could shoot it. Grandkids could shoot it. I mean, there's no reason why it won't be ready to go for a long time. And even in this box, if I left it in these boxes, it's fine. It would be totally fine in these boxes for a lot of years. I have no doubt about that. So we are going to loose pack this and do something with a food saver bag that I think is going to be really awesome. So that's going to be coming up. I just don't have it here to do it. And we want to try to check some of this stuff off the list so I can have more of a concise video coming up for you. Okay, so I don't want to start a whole magazine debate, but let's talk about storing rounds in a magazine. One of the things that I'm going to do when I reset some of these is I'm going to reset some of these because these 30 caliber container sizes, they do a great job of fitting a handful of magazines. There's a lot of wasted space in there, but you could store a handful of magazines that are preloaded. Now, loading a mag and leaving it long term with the spring, I did a video on this a couple of years ago, and I actually had a spring engineer who spends all of his time designing and suggesting manufacturing for the spring industry. And I think it's super cool that this guy found my video and he left a ton of knowledge. And so I might try to copy and paste that into the description if you're interested in it. But generally speaking, the springs in the magazine are fine for a very long time loaded with ammo. There's not a real concern of losing that memory. Now, that doesn't say that it can't happen. We don't have control over all of the range of possibilities in every single magazine, the way that they're stored, what life they lived, if you bought surplus, like all of those things definitely change how well that spring is going to adjust to being under tension for a long period of time. But springs under tension, generally speaking, it would be fine in here for a number of years. If you're worried about it, don't do it. But I'm going to store a handful of them. I actually have several extra magazines that aren't being used. I'm going to load them up in one in here so that they can be protected from the elements, and then it'll go into a deep storage. Hopefully we can resume our shooting hobbies here soon enough. But until then, I'd like to get all of this stuff protected. And again, I think it's fine in here like this. I think it's fine in here, but we're gonna add some desiccants and we're gonna loose pack that so we can fit more into a container and go from there. I also mentioned that it's permanent to write on here. And a lot of you suggested, of course, this will come off. It's just a hassle. I don't want to have to clean this off. So when I labeled this, it was because I wanted to keep that same ammo, and I was also able to find the P-tack and to refill this. So that's why it got the paint pen. Some of the stuff that I wasn't able to, maybe secure a supply of, that's when I was using the painter's tape. Labeling is obviously cool, and it's nice to be able to see, hey, what's in here? This one tells me there's 400 rounds. In retrospect, I don't think putting a round count on there is very valuable unless you're not going to be touching it. This one holds 400, but like you can see right here that it's missing 3, so that's not even accurate anymore. But yeah, anything that you write on these, you can get that off with, some paint thinner or nail polish remover. That'll come right off. It's no big deal. So what I've been doing recently, because there's weird ammo manufacturers that I'm getting ammo in from, I'm making sure that I store them with their labels so that I know what they are. And then I also recommend putting a date on there. I wasn't dating this stuff because I wasn't thinking long term, and that was a little bit short-sighted. But now I'm using painter's tape on here because I might not be able to get that same, like that American's Marksman. If the ammunition supply comes back, it's unlikely I would shoot that again. I mean, I might, even if I like it, I might. But at this point, I'm just looking for deals. So yeah. And then this one has been labeled this for a long time, and I would just dump new stuff in there. I wasn't worried about rotating stock. Now I'll be a little bit more cautious about rotating that stock and making sure these are prepped with desiccants and making sure that they're all sealed up nice. I also had one person who gave me a hard time about the WD-40 on the rubber. So I've sprayed, not sprayed, but I put it on a rag and made sure they're clean, the seals that are in here. Let me show you that. So you can see the rubber seals right here. Really just try to keep them clean. It looks like there's a little dust. No, that's not dust. It's just a little discoloration. And I don't even know if I've done this exact one with WD-40. I usually just wipe them off. Sometimes I have a rag when I'm cleaning guns or something that has a little bit of gun oil on it. But the WD website says that WD-40 is cool for rubber. It doesn't. He thought it was going to eat the rubber up. I don't know that that's true, but look into that if you're concerned about what you're doing. But just wiping these clean is valuable. And then if you want to oil them, I guess figure that out on your own if you don't want to take my recommendation. And again, you can find replacement rubber seals. Just Google it. I'm sure they're on Amazon. But you can find replacement rubber seals that fit these if yours aren't in good shape. So if you get a deal on some used ones, just make sure that they're not bent. If they're not bent here, and here on the sides, if they're not bent and they close and secure, then they're good to go. If they're dented, on the sides or they're scratched up or whatever, no, whatever. Just that's a good deal if you can find something like that. So, all right, well, coming up next here, we are going to sharpen up this It says it's a William Rogers from England. I don't know anything about this knife. It says Bob Schrimger presents William Rogers. Got this cool bone handle. It's even got some stacked, I think that's stacked leather. Kind of gives a little bit. Beautiful little knife. I have been using this on my desk as a letter opener, and we need to sharpen it up. We're gonna put that on the Tech Studio profile and put a nice edge on it. Don't forget to leave a comment. Tell me about how you store your ammo. And then you'll be entered to win this cool little sling pouch. It'll be good for a first aid kit or something. But all right, well, that's what I've got for today. Make sure you check out the video coming up. Actually, the next video is going to be this knife sharpened on the Tech Studios, and then we're going to play with that food saver here coming up when my order comes in. All right, thanks for watching. Eagle Run 23. We'll see you next time.